What a game in store tonight. Manchester City take on Real Madrid at the Etihad for a place in the Champions League final.
Yeah, delighted to say we speak live now to regular Good Morning Sports fans. La Liga TV presenter Semra Hunter. Semra, great to see you. Thanks so much. How's the feeling out there in Spain ahead of this one?
The feeling's pretty good. I think overall people feel as though it's fairly 50-50 like it was in the first leg, and that maybe just slightly Manchester City have the edge, or they have the advantage, and they might be the favourites considering that they're playing at home and that they have a phenomenal record at home. Under Guardiola, in 35 games in the Champions League, they've only lost 3 at the Etihad. And this calendar year, they've won 14 out of 14. They've scored 49 goals. They've only conceded 7. So for every goal that they concede, they score 7 on average. I don't think that'll be the case, obviously, against Real Madrid, but it's just to say that they're an absolute fortress at the Etihad, and it's very, very difficult for any opponent to take anything off of Manchester City. And I think the only defeat came back against Brentford, wasn't it, back in 2022, so last calendar year, even though it was the season. But I think if anybody can really challenge them, it would be Real Madrid. Real Madrid have taken some really big scalps over the last few seasons and obviously gone on to win 5 out of the last 8 Champions League. And if they reach the final, it would be the 18th time that they do so, and only the second for Manchester City. So I think that Real Madrid have a lot of history behind them. They have a lot of confidence. The players definitely feel as though they really can win this game. And so I think that gives a lot of belief to Madridistas here in Spain as well, that it'll be tight, but there's very much still the hope and the belief that they can go through.
Semra, let's talk team news now. Antonio Rudiger got the better of Erling Haaland, didn't he, in the first leg? But there's a suggestion he might not start tonight. What can you tell us about that?
It's quite funny. They're calling Rudiger the anti-Haaland here in Spain. He's the antidote, I guess, for Real Madrid when it comes to putting a stop to him. And it's also quite funny because Carlo Ancelotti, after Getafe the other day, after the league match, he confirmed that Rudiger was going to play. But then yesterday in Manchester, he said, oh, no, wait. I got confused. I didn't understand what you were asking me. I thought you were talking about Rodrigo. So actually, he started playing a little bit of mind games, maybe. We're not really sure if he was being honest or if he's actually just trying to put everybody off the scent. So there's a real bit of confusion as to whether he is going to start with Rudiger, because he played so phenomenally well against Haaland, really took him out of the game. And then Militao is back from suspension. He is his preferred centre-back along with Alaba. So what is he going to do? We don't really know. There's various options. It could be that he's going to stay with the same 11 that worked so well in the Bernabeu, just maybe swap Militao for Rudiger, or maybe he'll leave it untouched. If he decides to do that, we could see a domino effect. Maybe Alaba goes out to left back. Camavinga could then go into the midfield. That means that Rodrigo Valverde could be then the sacrificed one to start on the bench, used as an option to come off later on, just like it was the case last season. But then you think Rodrigo's playing so well, it may not be the right time to have him start off the bench and come off. So, I mean, there are a lot of different options here, I think, that Carlo Ancelotti can do. And it all depends on the approach of the game. Does he still want to go a little bit more defensive the way they started in the opening 45 minutes the last time? Or are they going to take a little bit more risks because they need to? Are they going to play more counter-attacking football? Or are they going to be more direct? So Carlo Ancelotti, for sure, is not a man that will make a lot of experiments or big changes in big games. So I think after saying all of that, it's probably very likely that he'll go with the same 11 that he did in the Bernabeu.
Semra, there's more reports about Real Madrid's transfer targets in the summer, isn't there? You've seen a list including the likes of Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe, Alphonso Davies as well. I mean, where are they going to get all the cash from for them?
Well, the good news for Madrid is that they haven't really been spending a lot of money in the last few summer windows, or even in the winter. That's not really their MO. They don't tend to go into the winter market. They have been building up a war chest for a long time for Kylian Mbappe. That was always the idea. So it was a big blow for Real Madrid when he didn't come in the end last season. So there is still money around. And also, I think they probably won't make too many tweaks to the squad overall. They're quite happy with what they have. They have 7 players who are up for contract renewal. The only one who's likely to leave is going to be Mariano. So I think that if anyone is likely to come, it will be Jude Bellingham. At least that's what the belief here is in Spain, is that he is going to be the one to come and join the ranks and really help build a midfield for the future. Another player that they would be really smart to bring in, I think, would be a replacement or a substitute for Karim Benzema. He doesn't really have a proper backup in case he gets injured or he's unavailable for selection. They've been able to deal with that, with Rodrigo playing as a false nine, or Asensio coming into the front as well. They've been able to manage it, but I think it would be wise for them to find someone else to help out Benzema when he's not there. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty solid squad. I don't expect them to do too many tweaks. If they can get Mbappe now, I'm sure that they would go for it. But it would be a very expensive summer if they were to bring in both Bellingham and Mbappe at the same time. But you'll never know. They're always good for bringing in one big name at the very least every summer. So keep your eyes peeled.
Semra, we haven't spoken to you since Barcelona won the La Liga title. How much credit does Xavi deserve for that trophy?
He deserves a lot. This is his first full season in charge. And I think it was his objective to win the league. And that's exactly what they did. Laporta worked exceptionally hard in the summer, pulling all those economic levers, trying to sort out their financial mess that's still ongoing, but to try and build Xavi a competitive team. And at least domestically speaking in the league, that was the case. Europe is a whole other kettle of fish. It was crash and burn situation. It was a complete catastrophe. We'll see what happens for the next campaign. But in the league, they were really, really good. And on top of that, they were the most consistent team. They only lost 3 games. They have the best defensive record that the club have ever had in Spanish football history. They've only conceded 13, 2 of which were penalties and 2 of which were own goals. So Ter Stegen has actually only conceded 7 goals from opposition players from open play. He also has a record of 25 clean sheets and counting. So I think defensively, that has been the name of the game for Barcelona. They've been outstanding. He's had to adapt to the players that he has. They haven't been able to play the way that he would have liked to. He also had a plague of injuries to contend with, to find formulas and solutions for that. And he was able to do that. I think one of the things that really failed them was that they could create a lot, but they had a very difficult time actually converting a lot of those chances. But overall, they were the most consistent team. I think it's a very fair win for them. And Xavi definitely deserves a lot of credit for the work that he's done.
Thank you, Semra. Enjoy the game later.
Thank you. You too.